could Halloween Ends feature more flashbacks than we probably think? I've been seeing a lot of conversation and comments. Regarding Halloween Ends and how they're going to be implementing flashback scenes back into this one as they did Kills. You know, I did expect them to use flashback scenes in Halloween Ends considering how well they did in Halloween Kills, and I think just in general how happy people were with how they were done. However, the amount of comments that I'm seeing about how we're going to be getting probably a lot more flashbacks than people think in Halloween Ends, it got me really thinking about it, because to be honest, I didn't really think too much about the flashbacks, if I'm honest. But I think seeing the comments now has honestly made me think, you know what, we really might get more than we really do think. Not the most relevant or bulletproof bit of information as to why we may be getting so many flashbacks, but something that I've recently seen is a casting call that was made for Around Savannah, Georgia. They put up that they were looking for an angry child with the description of looking savage, mean, and angry. And they also must not be smiling, obviously. And I've seen a few people connect that this could be a young Michael Myers that's being cast. I did then, through seeing this, see a video on Halloween Daily News. I believe that's the channel. And they do mention this, and they say basically that, you know, this could very well be a young Michael. However, another detail I did get from them was that they were looking for all ethnicities, as well as it could be a boy or a girl that play the part. And don't get me wrong, they could definitely cast a girl as a young Michael, but obviously it makes it a little bit more okay, maybe this isn't Michael. But yeah, who knows? Let's say that this is a young Michael. I know it's very vague, but I do have a point to put this to, and it's just a little fun point. But this could mean that we could be getting a real young Michael Myers flashback scene, potentially back to that night in 1963. Or maybe not. Maybe it's going to be in the sanitarium as he's growing up. They don't show too much of it, obviously, but it could be maybe little bits of clips on how he was. You know, they could maybe be going for the bit of the Rob Zombie approach and how they showed him slowly decay as a human. However, the bit that I did see, and I thought this could be a fun little element for them to maybe add, was obviously they had casting calls for young trick-or-treaters, obviously. But it did make me think, I don't know how many of you guys have read the comic books, but there's a part where a young Michael is out trick-or-treating and these kids start making fun of him, teasing him, you know, and then he stops. And if they wanted to, I guess, I hope they don't, and I don't think they're going to, but they could then make this where that's what happened to Michael just before he did go home and murder Judith. Obviously, he's outside the house. You know, again, I'm just throwing some ideas at you. I know this isn't bulletproof, and there are definitely better scenes that we could get, but it's just an idea. But yeah, in terms of us possibly getting some flashback footage of 1963, I think that's very interesting. You know, the entirety of Halloween Ends and any kind of Halloween film, there's going to be a lot of pressure on getting that scene or them scenes that we see right. Let's face it, it's going to get backlash regardless. I just hope that if they do go with that, regardless of whether this casting call is a young Michael or whatever, if we do get any flashback footage of 1963, I really hope they don't accidentally show us too much. But back to the general flashbacks, the reason that I think we're going to be getting so many more than we think is because unless there were insane writers that perfected the dialogue to clear things up themselves, I feel with this time jump especially, and just the pure carnage that we were left with at the end of Halloween Kills, we're gonna have to jump back a bit and get ourselves up to date with where the fuck this story is. That then opens up some flashbacks to the night of Halloween 2018 in Kills, and anywhere really in that 4-year gap. You know, let's say Michael has been caught, let's go off that theory. I imagine we could maybe get some flashbacks of previous court dates, where possibly Laurie, Allison, Hawkins, Lindsay could be giving statements or something like that to a judge, and then it's kind of giving us back in time of the run through of things. I'm not 100% sure. It's definitely an idea. That's something that's been in my head. I don't know why I can really see Allison stood up at, I'm not too sure what it's called, but the witness stand or whatever it is, you know, giving her statement to the judge. I'd also be interested to see whether we get any more young Hawkins. I'm not as convinced on this one, but there's definitely some room for it. But yeah, I do think that the flashbacks are going to maybe be a key element of what actually is going to help this movie kind of progress and actually get us all up to date. You know, I think relying on dialogue alone to do that could make some things very vague and just a bit confusing. And I mean, after seeing the flashbacks in Halloween Kills, I am so down for more 78 whatever flashbacks. I'd love to see a whole film with just that Michael. A scene that really sticks in my head from Halloween Kills is the bit where he's like stood outside, all the police have got the guns at him and he's just kind of stood there. There's something so creepy about the way he's just stood there. So if we get to see that Michael a little bit more, I would be very happy. But let me know in the comments down below what you think to the flashbacks. Do you agree that we're going to be getting probably more than we think? Or do you think the opposite? Do you think we're not going to be getting very many at all, if any? And let me know why in the comments below. Obviously, it's very early on now in Ends. We haven't even got like a teaser trailer, anything like that yet, and we won't do for a little while now. But I cannot wait till we're in October. Halloween is hopefully out, and I can see how maybe wrong I was. I think it'll be quite funny. But until then, please subscribe if you like Halloween and Michael Myers content. I'll see you guys